Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Sal Licata Show podcast, available on YouTube. Smash that like button, subscribe, download, rate wherever you get your podcasts. Episode 13. It feels like we've been doing this for forever here, but it's only in its infancy stages. And I do want to discuss something that we talked about yesterday. I hate the topic, but I just wanted to add on a little bit to get things started here. We have a list of a bunch of different things, but Roger Goodell spoke out yesterday on Steve Tish and talked about, well, we got to get the facts straight, and then we'll go from there. And obviously the facts are not good. If you paid attention to it, we discussed this yesterday with Tish having that email relationship with Epstein. And it's just something that I hate talking about. Like, what is anybody going to say about it? Obviously, we know it's disgusting and reprehensible, and what Epstein did was it's just unimaginable, unthinkable, horrific, all the different adjectives that you could use to describe it. Everybody is in agreement with that. And anybody who was in association with that, for the most part, because not just anybody, if you put yourself in a position where you happen to meet Epstein, you don't know. Like now it's easy to say, well, yeah, that guy was dirty and that guy was disgusting and whatever they were doing. But back then, maybe it wasn't as easy. I don't know. I'm not in the inner circle or wasn't in the inner circle of what was going on. So I would try to give maybe some people the benefit of the doubt that they don't know how much wrong they were doing. And with Tish, he came out and had the statement, and that's why Goodell said he's got to go and get into the facts. He had the statement that saying it was of age women, which, okay, so soliciting prostitutes. However he gets them, like that happens quite a bit. I'm not saying it's good, and it should never happen for an NFL owner, but I mean, it happened to Eugene Robinson ahead of the Super Bowl many years ago in 1998 for the Atlanta Falcons, Man of the Year, soliciting a prostitute and screwed up the whole game. Point is, that is something, while it's still not good, is something that happens quite a bit. So the issue here would be is if Tish were having Epstein recruit younger women for him. The other issue is that obviously Tish knew that Epstein had some track record where he got in trouble 5 years before these emails or communications with him. So that's another shady part of this whole thing. So nobody is saying that Tish, is innocent or should be let free. All I was trying to say yesterday was that I think fans can be hypocritical when it pertains to certain players or certain people within the organization. In this case, you don't really care about Tish. You want him out, staying on the Giants organization, any kind of association with Epstein, unacceptable. Understood. But what he did was solicitate or help, Epstein help him solicitate prostitutes and potentially of age, potentially not. So was that any different than what Lawrence Taylor did? Because I'm pretty sure Lawrence Taylor was or is a sex offender, has a criminal record of it. Now, LT said, going back many years ago, LT didn't know how old the women were that he was sleeping with, but in one particular case, it was a 16-year-old girl. He thought he was just calling a prostitute, which he did quite a bit. Lawrence Taylor, everybody shows up at MetLife on game day Sundays with 56 jerseys still. Ring of Honor, Lawrence Taylor. Hall of Fame, Lawrence Taylor. I'm not trying to besmirch him. I don't have to. He did it on his own. But where's that same energy? That's all that I'm saying. Nobody's absolving Tish of anything. And if he's found guilty, where the NFL looks through the facts, in any way, shape, or form of associating with Epstein and understanding what was really going on, then he should be banished from the league. And I think that he will. And then we could all move on. I'm just saying that energy, it's a very tricky spot because we used the example yesterday with Michael Jackson or Jay-Z. If you're going hard after all those guys or Tish or whatever, well, then you got to keep that same energy for everybody else. And in this particular case, including Lawrence Taylor, where, I don't want to bring this. I hate talking about it. Obviously, not a ton of topics going on. Super Bowl week, kind of the calm before the storm. We'll get more into the game and have some fun stuff later on. Spring training, Mets and Yankees just getting started, heading down there. It's way too early to really dive into that, although we'll do some preview shows and all that stuff. But so the Tish thing as far as New York sports go, and then Goodell commenting on it again yesterday, it's unfortunately topical. So as much as I hate it, I understand that I have to discuss it. But if you do discuss it, just discuss it with the same energy. For the Giant fans who say, oh, this is disgusting, Sal, get Tish out of here. Agreed. Lawrence Taylor also solicited prostitutes underage. Just because he didn't go to an island to do it or have Epstein do it for him Doesn't mean that he was, I'm sure he had his guys, whoever that may be, his circle recruiting women for him and maybe not checking their ID and knowing. I mean, it can't happen. But you want to watch a Lawrence Taylor highlight? You still want to wear your Lawrence Taylor jersey, don't you? Should we also ban 56 jerseys from ever entering MetLife Stadium? Should they be taken down everywhere from being sold? Like, how could you argue that you shouldn't? If you're on your moral grounds about guys getting prostitutes that are younger, not of age, which you should be. We should be on our moral ground with that. It's disgusting. Especially to the level that Epstein was doing it, but just in general. So we all know that. I think everybody's in agreement with that. It's just a matter of where you decide to draw the line. Okay, well, Tish, I don't like him. I want him out. Bada Boom's joking yesterday about, why can't something come out like this about the Jets owner? And really, we shouldn't even joke about it. But from a fan standpoint, it's, if this player isn't good or this owner isn't good, here's a way to get them out. As opposed to, it was LT. Oh, he just made a mistake. He didn't know how old she was. Maybe he didn't, but he still did it. And that's what I was saying yesterday. Maybe Tish didn't really know the extent he was getting himself involved in. Either way, it's just slimy and not a good look that you would want for anybody associated with any organization, but especially one in the NFL, and especially coming from an owner. He's not some front office member. He's an owner of the team. But also the Hollywood, you just got to understand this, sadly, is like par for the course with Hollywood. Look at what's gone on there forever with Weinstein and all the other stuff. Like, it's disgusting. We all should be in agreement that we know what was done was wrong. Did Tish in real time know the extent of it? Did he think he was doing something wrong? Sure. Did he know the true extent of it? Maybe not. He come out and said that he didn't. I used the Michael Vick example yesterday, and I stand by that, where I don't think Vick, if you're brought up in that realm, using an illegal cable box, for example, and this is a totally different side note, but like, it's still illegal, right? It's not, you shouldn't be doing it. But when I was younger, like, my father had that, the D-scramble, whatever they would call it. People still have it now. I'm getting texts like, oh, why are you paying for the Royal Rumble when you could just get this thing? You buy a box for the... I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But if you grow up with something like that thinking that it's normal, okay, well, maybe you do and it's not a big deal. But if you get caught by a cable company, you'd be in big trouble, or whatever it may be. So there are different levels to it. It's maybe a silly example. I'm just giving you one that I can use firsthand. Whereas with Michael Vick, that was a thing in Newport News, Virginia. Dogfighting in the South, that's a thing. It's still a thing, unfortunately. But so around him, yeah, he knew it was wrong. But did he know that it was to the extent that it was? Maybe not. But either way, he paid his penance. And Tish, it might be paying his penance, whether it's, legitimate legal issues, whether it's the NFL forcing him to sell his share of ownership. There will be a penalty here, and we all agree that there should be a penalty here. All I'm saying is that let's not just isolate. If you're a Giants fan, don't isolate the hate and disgust towards one guy when other guys have done similar stuff. Specifically, in this case, Lawrence Taylor. And I'm sure there are more. That's all that I was saying. But I really hate discussing this stuff. We all know it's awful. We all know it shouldn't happen. And as sports fans, we almost kind of have to, because I wouldn't want to tell a Giant fan, don't root for Lawrence Taylor or don't appreciate Lawrence Taylor. Hell, just 3 years ago, I myself, and I don't even like LT personally, obviously, but I love Giants history. And Lawrence Taylor is one of the great football players in the history of the NFL, let alone just the Giants. So I myself went back and bought an old school Mitchell and Ness jersey. I since either sold it or returned it. I forget what happened there, but I was excited about doing the show with BT, embracing New York football and wanted to wear different jerseys every Friday, whatever it may be. So point is that even though I knew what LT did was wrong, and I don't think he's a good person, I wasn't doing it for that. I wasn't buying the jersey to represent him, the person. It was about him, the player. So it's a tricky line as sports fans that we're put in when some of our favorite athletes or teams that we love do stuff that is, at the very least, questionable. Or you can transfer it over to music like we talked about with Michael Jackson, or if you're a big P. Diddy fan or whatever. Or Kanye West. I love Kanye West, but can I even love Kanye West anymore after all the stuff that he said? You can't. I don't know. I hate the whole thing. But then you're robbed as music fans or robbed as sports fans from it. So TBD with Tish. This is the last that I'll say on it, I guess, until there's a decision or something about it from Goodell. But Goodell commented on it yesterday, as he should. And once they get the facts straight, as they will, then there probably is going to be a change in ownership with the Giants. The thing that I hate most about this is it kind of tarnishes the image of the Maras as well, even though they're not directly involved in this. Associating with Tish and that's their team. The Giants are their team. It's always been Mara and Tish, the Maras and the Tish. So I don't like that there's kind of this now stain on the prestigious Giants organization outside of the losing. The losing is one thing, and that's bad enough. But I would never think that you'd see something like that from, would you ever expect to see something like that from the Steelers? The Packers, the well-run organizations. Maybe with the Cowboys, you might expect some buffoonery with Jerry, but you get the point. So from the Giants to have this type thing, I'm sure those guys are beside themselves. And poor Mr. Mara just can't catch a break here. He gets fighting for his life with the health, and now they finally, think about it. The Giants finally turned the corner. Obviously not on the field as far as results go, but they're dealing with all the stuff that they've dealt with on the field for the last decade plus, which has been a mess. Then Mr. Mara's health, he's got major health battle that he's going through. They have a horrible losing season, have to fire the head coach, all the stuff. Shane should be fired, this and that. They finally turn the corner and get John Harbaugh, the hire that everybody loves, and feel like, okay, this is exactly what they need. Now the Giants are headed in the right direction. You start dreaming about competing with the Eagles and the Cowboys legitimately in the NFC East, and maybe they could be a playoff team with Harbaugh. All is positive. Oh, Jackson Dart and, Scadaboo and Neighbors coming back and the defense, and Harbaugh is going to make the most of it. All of that headed in the right direction finally for once, where you can sit back and say, trust them. Mara did their job. They got the right guy. And now this. It shouldn't have an impact on the field, thankfully, but still, it's not something that you want to be dealing with. We also talked about the Knicks a little bit yesterday, and after we taped the podcast yesterday morning, Brian Windhurst went on ESPN and talked about the likelihood of Giannis going to the Knicks, and it wasn't very good, meaning that the Knicks aren't going to be overly aggressive with Giannis. And we kind of alluded to this, actually, in yesterday's podcast before that report even came out, that, if the Knicks don't make any moves, big moves, they're still good. We can nitpick, and we are at a championship level, which is a good thing. It's actually a great thing. The fact that the Knicks are a championship caliber team, or a team that is in the championship conversation. I think the NBA is maybe more open this year with balance and parity than we've seen in recent years. I still think the Thunder are the favorite, and I'd still favor some of the teams in the West over the East, but I think it's wide open, and the Knicks are one of those teams, whether it's the Pistons, the Heat, the Celtics, whatever you want to, the Sixers, the Cavs, pick a team from the East. Wouldn't be stunned really if any of those teams ended up going to the going to the NBA Finals and winning the Eastern Conference Finals. But if the Knicks didn't get Giannis, it's not, oh no, what are we gonna do? It's all right. Well, let's see what this team could do, and that's kind of the mentality that the Knicks have. With that being said, I still think that they can get Giannis. I still think it's possible. I still believe Giannis wants to be a Knick more than anything else. And even though he doesn't fully control that, we've seen times before where players do control it and teams have to acquiesce to their star player, even though it's not the best deal for them. Let's just deal with some facts here. Should the Knicks go after Giannis? I believe that they should, because I don't believe Karl-Anthony Towns is the right star to get them over the hump and win a championship. That's still TBD. I, Sal Licata, believe that this group will not win a championship. I'm curious to see how it plays out if they don't break it up, and if they don't trade for Giannis or don't trade for anybody else and break it up. I'm curious to see how far they could go, see if they can prove me wrong, but I don't believe in it. So I would break up this group, specifically Karl-Anthony Towns and Bridges if they had to go, and try to get Giannis. So would we do that? Yes. Okay. Do they need to do that? They don't need to do it now, and they still could do it again in the offseason if they don't do it now. So no matter how this shakes out, the Knicks are in a good spot, because the other fact is that they can compete legitimately for a championship with or without Giannis. Where there were times in the past where it's, if they don't get this star, they don't have any shot. That's not the case now. So it's still dealing from a position of strength, which I like. And, which either way they'd be okay. But I do prefer trying to get him or somebody else for that matter. It doesn't just have to be him. We talked about that yesterday. I just think it's time to move on from Karl-Anthony Towns. And if you ask me, and we did this last night on Sports Night on SNY, what the one thing I think is lacking, well, I actually think it's two things. I think the Knicks could do better at head coach. I think Mike Brown, well, I think he's a clown. I know the Knicks have done a good job here the last 6 games turning it around, but I think I'd feel better about the Knicks if they had Tibbs versus Mike Brown. But the main thing is, I think, consistency. I think the Knicks are lacking consistency, whether that's Towns playing at a high level consistently through the best, toughest opponents and toughest teams in the postseason, cleaning up his game, not as sloppy with the offensive foul. So there are, Bridges not being consistent, the defense not being consistent. They can do it. They're doing it at a high level the last 6 games. So we know they could do it. They've done it at a high level a lot in the regular season over the last 2 years. So it's not, oh, well, what do the Knicks need? Well, there's a glaring piece. Could they use backup guard? Sure. Could they use a backup big? Sure. Obviously those little pieces to try to round out the team here. We talked about better depth on the bench. We thought that they were going to have Clarkson, Yabusele. Those guys haven't been used. So that just shows you how much of a miss that was. As a matter of fact, I think both those guys would have been better under Tibbs and in Tibbs' rotation, as odd as that sounds. Maybe Shamet would have had less of a role, but maybe the other guys would have had more use with Clarkson and Yabusele. Anyway, the Knicks have some depth. They have, obviously, a lot of talent. The consistency is the one thing that I think is lacking, and ultimately the thing that's probably going to hold them back from being a legitimate championship team. But, we'll see what happens over the next couple of days here, what moves they make, what moves they don't make. The Knicks are still in a strong position here to go make a run at getting themselves to an NBA Finals with or without Giannis. But the facts are, in my opinion, I think they'd be better by breaking up Towns and this group and chasing the star. The other fact is Giannis wants out. So he's going to be available, and that's a major star that's available. And the other fact is, unfortunately, a lot of teams want in on him, whether it's the Warriors, the Heat, the T-Wolves. Those are just some of the teams that are in a better position to give a better offer right now. The Knicks can't make the best offer for him, which is really the only reason why we're hesitant to say, okay, well, this is going to happen. Couple things here. Bada Booms, I do have to take issue with you because I see that you keep, here, we're going to do a challenge. Come on in, Bada Booms. Hop in here. We're going to do a Bada Booms challenge, if you will. Try posting clips of the show without you in it. Do you think you could do that? Your mic is off.
I knew that was coming.
Another Bada Booms challenge. Turn your mic.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Well, why'd you know it was coming? Is it because you frequently post clips with you in them?
I was actually going to preface that to you before I posted that Reggie Miller one. The most animated you were was when Bada Booms was beside you. So I figured this did not put me to sleep.
Not to mention, so what? The other stuff was putting you to sleep?
No, it's just a lot of laissez-faire. I don't know if I'm using that term right. I remember it from school.
No, we were just talking. I don't yell all the time.
No, but that's what the people want. They want you yelling.
Do they? I mean, some people don't. Some people don't. We're doing, over the course of a 4-hour radio show, everybody made it feel like I was yelling all the time. I wasn't, in fact, doing that. Over the course of a 40-minute podcast, I'm not. There are some things that are going to get me worked up. That's going to happen, and there's some things that aren't. I'm just being me. Whether it's radio, whether it's podcast, I'm just being me. So, okay, the Knicks talking about Giannis, I'm not fired up to say you have to go get Giannis. We've given our strong opinion on that. We'll see what happens. That's not something I yell and scream about. When something happens that I want to yell and scream about, like Reggie, annoyed me, not him, just on his own, the whole idea of it annoyed me. Fine. That's the clip that you chose. You were in it. Not to mention that you had me taking a swig of water and wiping my nose in the clip. Is there anything else that you want to get me doing? Did you watch the clip? You post the clip. I'm drinking water, picking my nose with a tissue, but still.
I can't tell if it's a work or a shoot, so I think that's a great thing.
I'm doing it again. Don't post this clip. See, you made me laugh. And
Here,
then
I'll just wait till you do the boogie. All right.
A little snot got loose. I mean, at least edit that out.
Yeah. High class radio here. The next clip was about Chuck E. Cheese. So you.
Yeah. Also, your timing with the clips. We talked about getting 3 out. You can't be sending me a clip when I'm getting ready for the TV show at 5:30.
bad job by me, bro. Like he once said in reference to Robert Saleh. But I'll make sure that's why we're building up the Bada Booms platform, so it's off your shoulders to bear.
Good God. All right. So now you wanted to get in on Mike LaFleur getting hired here. LaFleur, we didn't discuss this yesterday. I do think it's fascinating to watch all what's going on. Like Saleh, Dable in Tennessee. Oh my God. Sign me up. YouTube, Sunday ticket. Focus on the Titans and see how Saleh and Dable do after what they did here in New York. I can't believe so. Like there are some people who think Saleh's going to have success. And now LaFleur, who Saleh brought with him to be the offensive coordinator with the Jets, and everybody was talking about it being a good hire. He leaves here. People are like, this guy's inept, doesn't know what he's doing. And now all of a sudden, a couple years later, he's the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And Bada Booms, as a diehard Jet fan, how does that make you feel?
Can I start with the Dable and Saleh first, and then make the way to LaFleur? Or no?
Holy crap, dude! You just don't get it. You just don't get it. Just go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They're going to be successful. That's my first take, where it's like pin it up and forget about it. They're going to be successful.
Are you rooting for Saleh, or you have any issues with him?
Well, you know how I feel about that one guy on the Tennessee Titans, right?
Yeah, you love Cam Ward. I know, but I asked you about Saleh.
Well, if I have to root for Saleh because of Cam Ward,
okay, I got it.
Sucks to suck.
Well, but I'm curious about Saleh from a Jet fan perspective. I know you like Cam Ward because you're a big Miami fan. I'm talking about Saleh from a Jet fan perspective. Is it going to bother you if Saleh has success with Tennessee? That's what I'm asking you.
No, not really, because they fired him after week 4, coming off an international game against a big, division rival. After they were one game out of first place. So that's stupid. The whole Saleh thing. Did he ever wrong me? No, he was a little bit of a, I don't want to say doofus, but he didn't learn on the job. He was learning on the job.
He wasn't a good head coach, and like New York neutered him or ruined him, and working under Woody probably just destroyed him. The problem is they found the one guy that was actually worse than him. Woody thought he was doing a good thing by firing Saleh, and he made everything worse. And I will say, just to follow up to when we talked about this last time, before you give your thoughts on LaFleur, I'm still listening to that Crazy Rich book, dude. The stories are just it's actually an entertaining drama as to the insanity that went on with the Johnson family, like with Woody's ancestors, his grandparents, his parents. It's just an unbelievable, unreal world for normal civilians like you or I, and shows you how out of touch that family is and the things that they did, and you have a better understanding of Woody. So I do recommend that to Jet fans listening or reading Crazy Rich, just to give you the perspective that Woody has no perspective on what we deem as reality. Okay, LaFleur, go ahead, get to it.
LaFleur was the scapegoat, and he got fired because Woody needed heads to roll. So back to what last week I got you for saying Woody doesn't know what he's talking about until the noise comes in. The noise came in, and he said to Saleh, fire someone or I fire you. And he figured, let's fire LaFleur, because he wasn't firing Ulbrich, because Ulbrich was obviously much better than LaFleur, excuse me. And Ulbrich was already getting job offers and opportunities to interview as is. He's not going to fire him.
Well, the offense sucked, though.
Why did the offense suck?
Oh, but they don't have a quarterback. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They overdrafted a D2 quarterback. I tweeted this the other day.
No, they did the same thing. They went with an inexperienced quarterback and an inexperienced offensive coordinator. Like, he may have been okay to take a job, not that job. You can't do it in New York. Rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, rookie OC. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's awful. But it's not like they had a quarterback who was then going into his 4th or 5th year, right?
What are you talking about? Did you say quarterback?
Yeah, quarterback. When Saleh, LaFleur, and Douglas were making that team, that first team.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I understand, but you could bring in a veteran. Aaron Glenn tried to do that with Justin Fields. More on him in a second. You could have brought in. No, you just can't. I don't care how you get there, Bada Booms. You can't have a rookie head coach, a rookie OC, and a rookie quarterback. That's asinine.
Yeah. I agree with you. I 1,000% agree with you. I 1,000% agree with you. And that goes back to, I think the theme of this week is Darnold, is it not?
Well, it will be, yeah.
So I thought a perfect tie-in here is LaFleur and Darnold. They didn't have to go get Zach Wilson. They could have traded the second pick for a king's ransom.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. They did have the opportunity to make the choice with Darnold. I
think Darnold with MLF would have been, I mean, you can't, what am I going to say? The Jets were going to find success.
Well,
they only ever find success in hypothetical.
I wonder how much say, though, he had in that, or was it just all Joe Douglas? I'm sure Woody had an impact on that. Remember, there was a point where Douglas addressed this afterward. He had the choice to stick with Sam Darnold or draft.
He wanted a restart.
Yes.
Saleh
So he
wanted Darnold.
and I can't blame him for that because of how bad that it was with Sam Darnold. But yes, in hindsight, you could have had, hey, let's try to remember they tried to fix Darnold with Adam Gase and bring in a guy. Well, no, they did. They did.
You're
So let's
right.
not make it like they didn't bring an offensive guy. I mean, they brought in an offensive guy to try to placate Darnold and fix him. It wasn't just Todd Bowles and, Darnold was set up to fail. They brought in Adam Gase. It didn't work out. Now you're going to do it again and say, hey, we really still believe in this guy and we're going to bring in LaFleur, a rookie OC with a rookie head coach, and we think we're going to stick with Sam Darnold. Unfortunately, I'm with you that I would have liked to have seen that now, certainly in hindsight. Unfortunately, at the time, there's no way that they could have made that decision.
So you say, and I understand what you're doing here, offensive mind, Adam Gase. That's Peyton Manning's coffee boy. Let's refer Sal, when he gets brought up on the show, because of the fandom that I bear, can we just refer to him as Peyton Manning's coffee boy? Because that's what he was. That's why he got a job.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this because I know you're not doing it intentionally. You're doing it to be, Adam Gase is
But they did try. I'm not saying obviously it didn't work out. It was a disaster. Adam Gase had a couple of successwhoa years in Miami with Ryan Tannehill. It wasn't the worst hire in the world. It turned out to be that way.
It was
at the time. No, and well, I know, but it wasn't at the time. It turned out to be that way. At the time, it was not the worst hire. I am sure about that. Yes.
I remember the way I felt. I don't even know how I was. Damn, 14 or 15. I thought it was over. I thought, oh, there goes Darnold. Like, am I wrong in thinking that? Did I just hate him because he was a Dolphin?
No, we could disagree on whether you wanted him or not. I know that I wanted him and I wasn't alone, and that doesn't matter. Obviously, I was wrong on that. I'm just saying that at the time, it wasn't looked at as, oh my God, what a horrific hire. Like for me, looking at Saleh and LaFleur, rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback, that to me was a bigger mistake than going after Adam Gase, somebody who did take the Dolphins to the playoffs. Like he was a head coach with some success. Hard to say that now after the fact, but pre-Gase with the Jets, it wasn't a disastrous move. Now you were right for not wanting it. You turned out to be correct, but I don't think at the time it wasn't universally looked at as, oh, this is going to be a disaster. It was looked at as maybe this offensive head coach can make the most of Sam Darnold, and clearly he couldn't.
I'm not trying to get my stuff in. This is something that I'm deathly passionate about.
Yeah.
I do want to publicly, for the first time, I think, disagree with you on something. Do I have the
floor? Yeah, you're allowed to disagree. Go ahead. We're having a conversation.
I disagree with you. I think in the last 10 years, by the way, there was that great video out. Did you get to see that? The worst Jet moments of the last 10 years by NY.
No, I haven't seen that.
No, it was phenomenal. In my opinion, Sal, the worst choice that the Jets have made of the last 10 years, because now we're past the point where Rex is involved, right? Yeah, Rex is out of the 10-year loop here. The worst choice they made in the last 10 years was not hiring Mike McCarthy that year. Mike McCarthy wanted to be here. He wanted Sam Darnold, and what he said,
enough.
Oh, Peyton, you didn't want to come here in 1998, and now you think we should hire a coach? Oh, sure, well, also Peyton, your son will come here in 20 years.
Also could have had Harbaugh as well. Jim Harbaugh, not John. Jim Harbaugh. I don't remember.
He wasn't leaving Michigan.
I don't remember the specific year. Before he went to Michigan, there were many opportunities. Even while he was there were many opportunities to get Harbaugh.
With the Jets when he left.
Who?
Rex was still with the Jets when Jim left. So I don't. He was.
No. There were many opportunities. I forget the exact timeline and of all the different seasons here. There were opportunities to get Jim Harbaugh out of college and bring him to New York, whether it be with the Jets or Giants over the years. He always wanted to come back to the NFL. Now, I don't know if he would have had interest in the Jets, but they certainly should have inquired. I remember saying that at the time quite a bit. Now, you wanted McCarthy, whatever it may be. Okay, fair enough. Either way, it didn't work out. But LaFleur now going to get an opportunity, which could also sting the Jets. Like, there are many ways to do this. Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, Patriots in the Super Bowl, Saleh, head coach, again, almost immediately after things went horrifically wrong with the Jets, and now LaFleur, a guy who was looked at as an inexperienced kind of dope while he was here. Like, nobody took him really seriously. He's now running the show in Arizona. Unbelievable. The ineptitude of the New York Jets.
He was very creative, though. Like, that first year, Sal, I don't know if you remember, even going into the Mike White stuff, like, he was doing things where, like, when Zach Wilson wasn't on the field, it was like, oh, wait, this offense can score. Like, remember Monday night in Indianapolis when they scored 30-plus points? And it looked like, what is this team?
enough about LaFleur and the Jets. Like, we got to just move on from it. It is, you have Aaron Glenn now. They're going to find enough. Like, we got to move on. Although I will say the Jets nearly had a Pro Bowl quarterback this year.
Oh God.
Justin Fields. Like, if that doesn't tell you that the Pro Bowl is worthless, almost as worthless as the Hall of Fame
Oh
for
God.
the Pro Football Hall of Fame, how I I just don't understand it. And this is an easy, low hanging fruit here. Tee everybody up to go nuts about Justin Fields being invited to the Pro Bowl. It was one thing to see Shedeur Sanders get selected, which is bad enough, and we just know that that is absolutely worthless. It's always been worthless. It's even more worthless with Shedeur Sanders being a Pro Bowl quarterback, and now even more on top of that worthless with the like Justin Fields. A, barely played. B, when he did, he was arguably the worst quarterback in the league. Why the hell would he get an invite to the Pro Bowl?
I think I know why. I think Roger Goodell was in the Meadowlands for week 1, saw that game, and thought that's how Justin Fields played all year. It's just that the Jets suck. So he was like, oh, you know what? This guy deserves a nod for that one game, week 1. He threw that nice ball to Garrett Wilson.
I mean, dude, if we went down the list of QBs in the AFC, like, I think you make a better argument for Brady Cook being a Pro Bowler than you could Justin Fields or
Jeez.
Tyrod Taylor. He didn't. I know he stunk. Justin Fields didn't do
He
anything.
didn't do anything. Well, that first game, Sal, the first game was very promising.
One game. And I like Justin Fields personally. I was hoping he would have some success. I mean, he can't throw the football, but how? Like, there's got to be a list of at least 30 quarterbacks that you'd rather have, and there are only 32 starters. At least 30 quarterbacks in the NFL you'd rather have than Justin Fields. So, all right, so take that in half, because of the AFC. Dude. Go ahead.
For the sake of not making this about me and getting my stuff in, I'm just going to breathe deeply. I can get one of those paper bags and just, like, what is it? What's the time right now, Sal? It's 8:21 on a Tuesday in February. The Jet conversation isn't about the big game they're having on Sunday with Aaron Rodgers and this third iteration of the Rodgers team. It's that they started Justin Fields. He was absolutely awful. He was an unmitigated disaster this year and still got a Pro Bowl nod. I mean, this is not what I dreamed about in math class and history class.
All right. We've done way too much Jets. I feel like I'm working with BT. Thanks, Bada Booms. If I need you, I'm going to call you back in here because we're going to wrap up with this. Salflix. I've been watching a bunch of movies. Actually, I've been binging on Landman. Like, that's what I did this weekend. Took my daughter to Chuck E. Cheese, and then I was binging on Landman season 1. And I love Landman. There is, have you seen that one, Bada Booms, Landman? Did we talk about this? Did you see Landman?
No, I don't think we did. But yeah, no, I don't think we did.
You should check it out. There are many appealing elements to Landman. And let's
I
just
just
put it
finished
that way.
Heels. I was going to suggest Heels to you, actually. Have you ever seen it?
No, what is that?
It's about a small independent wrestling promotion in Georgia.
No. Is it good?
No. It's with Stephen Amell, the Green Arrow. It's great.
I don't know who that is. Have you seen any movies? So, not only Landman, I watched The Rip on, like, do you have Netflix, Bada Booms?
Yeah. You want me to come back in the frame here, or are you talking off?
You could if you want. Have you watched The Rip with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck?
I saw the press tour for it. I'm not the biggest fans of those two guys just because of the Boston Connect, honestly.
Wait a second. Did you see Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. So how are you not a big fan of those two guys after you saw Good Will Hunting?
Boston. I hate Boston.
Now, you're a Yankee fan. Did you see that a bunch of Yankees were wearing Bruins jerseys at the Stadium Series?
No.
Cam Schlittler, Ben Rice, Jason Dominguez.
You know, now, Dominguez doesn't know any better. He just found out what hockey was like last week.
All right, whatever. Well, I don't know if he knows hockey or not. Schlittler from Boston. Ben Rice also, I think, from New England or whatever. So maybe he's a Boston fan as well. But Rice, Schlittler, and Dominguez, and I think they were more, I don't know if the other guys were wearing jerseys, but at least those three wearing Boston Bruins jerseys at the Stadium Series.
Call your boy Booney and tell him polls for them first morning. I don't know if you know what polls means. When I play baseball, something bad, they tell us polls. Just polls, and I'll tell you when to stop. But Schlittler, Schlittler's a legend when it comes to in the Yankee Red Sox lore. He's a chapter of the book, so I'll exonerate him. His picture on Twitter, I think, is still the Bruins logo, so I'll exonerate him. Ben Arroz does not get the the free pass there.
Just a weird. I mean, the Knicks do that a lot with Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson being Eagles fans, so from Philly. I mean, it's just a weird thing. Guys are allowed to root who they root for, grow up where they grow up for. Booney is an Eagles fan himself. I don't know. You're a Yankee. Do you got to wear anything that says Boston? I don't mind you go to the game. I don't even mind you root for the Bruins. But
I think
nonetheless,
Booney gets a pass because the Yankees aren't rivals with Philly.
No, well, the Knicks are rivals with Philly, and
Yes,
New York
that's a
is
different story. I'm not.
New York is rival with Philly. So when you have Towns and Brunson go up there and wear Eagle stuff, what? You got something else?
No, they're second. They're the second rival.
Oh, but still, it's still a rivalry. You
know
give me
what's
the
crazy,
peace sign. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Peace sign.
Ringo. No.
Yeah.
This is a 2. Did you see that Beatles? Wait, I don't know Beatles. I want to talk about the Philadelphia thing. See, I'm even doing it to myself, Sal. It's a sickness. I think it's very fascinating in this town, in the city that we love, how you can not have an opportunity to dislike Boston and not have an opportunity to dislike Philadelphia. Like, if you pick the right teams, there's a chance you don't even care for either of those cities. You know what I mean?
I mean, I actually like the cities of Philadelphia and Boston. I hate Philly sports.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it because it's very passionate, but I just like it. They're bitter rivals.
Your
Philly
two
to
teams
me,
happen to hate the Phillies.
yeah, Philly to me more. Also Boston, and I love Boston, a city I've been to many times. Like if I couldn't live in New York and do sports talk in New York, although I guess I really don't do sports talk in New York anymore.
Yeah, you do it in your
Philly.
basement.
I could be doing it from wherever. No, you're in your basement and get back in your hole. All right, that's it, Bada Booms. Enough out of you with the wisecrack. Boston and Philly would be two because I respect their markets, the passionate fan bases, but also I gotta hate them as a New Yorker. Anyway, let's wrap up the Sal flicks here. So we mentioned the rip. Bada Booms didn't see it, and this is homework. You don't have to pop back in here, but like part of doing this show with me, Bada Booms, you gotta watch shit. All right, like go to Netflix, binge. I mean, it's not like you're cutting clips of the show all day long because you're giving me one a day. I mean, so it's not like you're doing anything. Watch stuff. I saw Marty Supreme, and I thought it was okay. I thought Chalamet was great. I wanted to see it really badly. It was okay, not as good as I thought. Good movie. Good, not great. But Chalamet was great. I saw Sinners. Have you seen that one? Okay. See, Bada Booms did see Sinners. I didn't want to see it because I'm not a horror movie guy. But then it got so many nominations, and I'm like, well, I really have to, I guess, check this out. My wife wanted to see it. I'm like, all right, I'll suck it up and get through it. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It was good. Not a great movie, good movie. And the horror aspect of it, some vampire stuff, wasn't as bad as I thought. I don't like the thriller horror, come up from behind the staircase and slash you with an axe type stuff. Like that's not. I don't like that. The vampire thing, all right. Was it great? Was it my favorite thing? No, but I don't think it was as bad. Maybe similar vein to Get Out, which was that win best pick? Was nominated?
I don't remember, but it's called a psychological thriller. That's what you're thinking.
I don't no, those I don't mind, but like Friday the 13th or like Chucky, what do you call it? Like Child's Play?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Or Jason. No, Jason was Freddy and Elm Street and all that. Those type horror movies. Those I can't. Scream, I guess. Is that a horror movie too?
Yeah, spooky. You don't like the spooky?
I don't want to be scared. So this wasn't really scary. This was more just like at times, vampire-y. Another one that I saw, and this will be the last one that we'll give here, and more Sal flicks to come as we watch different stuff, and hopefully Bada Booms gets up on it. By the way, the best movie that I've seen this year by far has been One Battle After Another. Have you seen that one, Bada Booms?
It sounds. Oh, that's what Leo.
Yes.
I gotta see. I love.
Must
Leo.
watch.
I wanted to see that in the theater and I missed it, but I have to watch that movie.
Yeah, that's a must watch. So that is, and I've seen a bunch. That's the best one that I've seen by far. One that I love though is Frankenstein, and it's on Netflix. I think it was. What are you making that face? What's with the face, Bada Booms? Did you see it? Have you seen Frankenstein?
But I'm off camera. You're not supposed to acknowledge the face. The face happens because I. No,
all right, but I'm seeing it. What's with you this morning? Did you see Frankenstein? Yes or no?
Dude, you got a trampoline in that room?
Why?
Because you're hopping on Johnson right now.
Did you see Frankenstein? Yes or no?
Yes, and I didn't like it.
Wow.
I didn't like it.
Why not? I thought it was a great story.
I don't like the main dude. I don't. I just can't. I
All
can't get
right,
past him.
me neither. What's his name?
The Lordy.
Okay, whatever. But I thought the story was good. And here's one part that I wanted to talk about. Like, because in the movie, Frankenstein is created they give him life. But then he can't die. He lives forever. And you could see that he's just a tortured soul on his own, doesn't have a mate that is like him. So I love the whole story, but then it got me thinking, like, would you want to live forever? My answer is definitively no. There is no chance. Like, as much as we fear death, and it's like you hear about somebody dying, and it's like, oh my God, so sorry to hear that. How'd that happen? Because you want to know for yourself. Oh my God, this person died at 43. How'd that happen? I better go get checked, or I better make sure I stay, because everybody's afraid of dying themselves. So when they hear about that, they're, oh, how is that not going to happen? Oh my God, that's horrific. So we're all scared of it to a certain extent. As Tupac once said, my only fear of death is reincarnation. Now, that's not me, but that's a great Tupac line. But and I don't want to die, but I also don't want to live forever. Definitively don't want to live forever. And watching Frankenstein in that movie, it almost gave me anxiety thinking like, oh my God, this poor bastard he's trapped forever. He's trapped forever.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Frankenstein's a Jet fan. He's trapped forever. He just has to live with his failure and pain and misery, and there's no escape. There's no escaping. You can never hit the pinnacle, and we've already hit rock bottom so many times that rock bottom creates it. It just keeps getting worse, Sal. There's just more rock bottoms.
I feel like I may have created Frankenstein in you, and I don't know if there's an escape now from Bada Boom's interjecting himself on this podcast. Only 13 episodes in, the guy's got more airtime than I ever promised him before we agreed to this. All right, that does it for episode 13. Be back again tomorrow. We'll start to look ahead for the football stuff. Obviously, Super Sunday. Looking forward to that and all that brings, and get into the Knicks. We should have Frank Isola. We're going to be doing I think, live YouTube with Frank Isola at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I don't know, tomorrow, whatever. Who knows when you guys are listening to this? Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Wednesday night on YouTube. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, download, rate, subscribe, smash that like button, comment, and all those different things. The podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and tell your friends about it. If you're entertained by with Bada Booms and myself, what we've been doing here, having some fun through 13 episodes, spread the word, because we're not going anywhere. Well, I'm not going anywhere. Bada Booms, I don't know. That's TBD. All right, we'll see you later.